What is going on, you guys? How are you all doing today? Hope you guys are doing fantastic as always. Today, I'm sitting in yet another BMW 335i N54. This time, finally on the channel, I'm featuring a 6-speed manual equipped 335i. And man, I gotta say, this car is an absolute joy to drive. So this car is actually owned by my good friend Gio. You guys might know him as Eliminated Stone on Instagram. I featured him on a number of videos, including one of the very recent videos where he tuned another one of his 335i's to 440 wheel horsepower in 48 hours, literally under 2 days. And he ended up selling that car and he picked up this. We have this beautiful 2007 E92 335i. It's actually Montego Blue Metallic, which is just a really, really pretty color. We were talking about how nice it is. It actually almost looks purple or violet in certain shades. And it's in very good condition. Of course, it's a 6-speed manual. We have 166,000 miles on the odometer, but this car runs like an absolute charm. It has no wastegate rattle from the turbos, index 12 injectors, no major oil leaks anywhere, no misfiring. The idle is one of the smoothest N54 idles I have felt so far. And of course, it drives fantastic. So he's really doing a lot to make sure that this car stays well maintained. He does plan on selling it pretty soon, so if any of you guys are interested, feel free to DM me on Instagram or Gio at Eliminated Stone. We can talk more about the sale of this car. But anyway, let's get into how this car drives. Is a rocket ship, you guys. It's so quiet, and it's actually kind of refreshing because it's a bone stock 335i. For some reason, we were talking about this, it feels faster than stock. For some reason, this car just pulls like obscenely hard, and it just feels very, very powerful when you get it into every gear. Now, this is the first 335i with a manual transmission that I've really gotten to kind of get my hands on and drive quite a bit. And it has totally changed my opinion on the transmission choice on these cars. I used to always say the automatic and stuff, but with the E92 and the E90 generations, the 335i in a manual is so much fun, and it's just way more engaging to drive. Now, I am a little rough around the edges with manual, because I haven't driven it in a while, but oh god, this is just an absolute blast. Actually, a quick correction, this car isn't 100% stock. It actually has like some Koni shocks and some aftermarket springs just to help with the suspension and kind of dial it in. That was all done by the previous owner, but it's actually helped quite a bit with the body roll and the overall stance of the car. It feels very, very planted. This is an 07 model year, and it feels so hunkered down and so well built. So Gio actually has a 2010 335i, but unfortunately that engine kind of self-destructed because it had a crank hub slip, and so that car is being parted out at the moment. But that 2010 model just feels a little bit like airy and just not as well put together compared to these 07s, and we're not really sure what the reason could be. But these 07 models just pull so damn hard. And I don't even think you guys can really hear the engine sound. It's so isolated, the noise from the cabin when you're driving this car. It's a very gentleman-like car because it's just a very luxurious coupe with just a crap ton of power. And it feels really, really good. So taking it through some of these back roads here, there's just a lot of nice roads to be driving on. And it feels very, very good. One of the points that I really want to get across in this video is how nice it is to actually drive something that is completely stock. So in this channel, of course, I've modified my own car. I've featured tons of modified 335i's, and of course, like, we all love modding our cars, we love tuning them, that's all we really talk about on this platform. But this car in its bone stock form just feels so good for some reason. And it's almost like one of those things, do I want to modify it? Like, should you even throw aftermarket parts? I mean, on one hand, obviously, yeah, you should, because it's going to totally wake up the inner potential inside this car, but there's also something that's so refined and so balanced about driving a stock BMW 335i, because that's how this car was intended to be driven out of the factory, and the overall package of this car is just so ahead of its time. For this being 2007, I mean, this is just so much car, and it still feels so modern when you're driving in it today. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and do a first gear pull from about 4,000. Just listen to this thing rip. Man, it's so much fun. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit rough right now with manual. It's been a while since I've driven a BMW and a manual transmission, but they feel so good. The manuals on these cars are very easy to drive, very smooth clutch, and I'm still just shocked at how powerful this car feels. I can't remember my 335i when it was stock, or any other stock 335 that I've driven that just felt this good. It has no bolt-ons on it. Stock airbox, stock intercooler, stock charge pipe, stock downpipe, stock turbos from our knowledge. But just something about this car just feels really good. I said this about Gio's previous 335 that he sold very recently, but these cars just have that really cool, like, jet turbine sound to them. Something about the N54 just, yeah, it's like reminiscent of like an aircraft. And the way that the cabin is so isolated from the rest of the outside, like, you feel like you're in some sort of like airplane. And the way that the turbos and just the immediate torque shove that puts you in your seat, it's a really, really cool feeling. It's very hard to get that in any other car, especially for the price range that these cars go for.